Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and of course we are joined by Tim Picciott of the Liberty Advisor, and we are going to go into the stock market because we seem to be in a time of great desperation. Everything's all-time highs, everything's great, everything's wonderful. Well, as the CNBC article says, White House considering tax incentive for more Americans to buy stocks, sources say. A tax incentive to buy stocks. Wait a second, I thought it was basically blowing off the shelf. I thought everyone was running for the stock market and buying into the stock market, and there's no end in sight, Tim. As this article says, a part of a forthcoming package of proposed tax cuts, the White House is considering ways to incentivize U.S. households to invest in the stock market, according to 4 senior administration officials familiar with the discussions. The proposal, one of many new tax cuts under consideration, would see a portion of household income treated as tax-free for the purposes of investing outside a traditional 401k. Under one hypothetical scenario described by multiple officials, a household earning up to $200,000 could invest $10,000 of that income on a tax-free basis, although officials noted these numbers are fluid, and I quote, "Nothing's ruled out," said one senior administration official. Nothing has been ruled in either. Larry Kudlow, director of the National Economic Council, told CNBC the approach looked at most closely centers on creating universal savings accounts, which would combine retirement, education, and health care savings into one vehicle. Money put into the account would be done so on an after-tax basis and taxed when withdrawn as well. But any accumulation of profits during the investment time frame, known as capital gains, would not be taxed. Kudlow told CNBC this policy, if pursued, may extend to bonds as well as stocks. Kudlow noted that this and other ideas have yet to be fleshed out and no decisions have been made. It's interesting, Tim, because on one side I'm like, well, yeah, great, I guess less money being stolen from capital gains, but then I'm like, why would they do this unless they felt the need or some kind of form of desperation to keep propping up the stock market, as if it's almost like they're worried that it's not going to go up forever? What do you think?
It almost seems like it's kind of like a crappy version of the Roth IRA. So what a Roth IRA is any gains you put into this type of retirement account, any gains are going to be tax-free. So let's say you put in $5,000, 30 years later it's $150,000 hypothetically. Everything you take out is tax-free. Now what they're proposing is a similar system, but it's not. But when you take it out, then it's going to be taxed. And so, and the other important thing to note about this is that capital gains are oftentimes going to be a lower tax rate than what you'd expect for income. And so, if they're going to tax you as income versus capital gains, it might just be better off not to have this to begin with. Now, I don't know the details, and like they say, the devil's in the details. So, I don't know if there's certain deductions, but it almost seems like it's just a gamification of the stock market. And there's all these other rules. I mean, like if you earn I forgot the exact number, it's like $130,000, you can't get into a Roth IRA, but you can, because there's something else called a backdoor Roth IRA, which means you can just do an extra step to be able to do that. And so it's really kind of crazy that it's so easy to get around the rule, and it's like legal to do that. That, like, why do you even have that? And so this is just a desperation ploy. It's a rumor that's then going to then make the stock market go up. And Larry Kudlow, he's just a team player. I mean, I've been listening to Larry Kudlow since I was 14 years old, watching CNBC. And
cool kid.
Yeah, maybe the coolest kid around. That and like wearing Speedos and swimming just was just like the ultimate 1-2 punch for all the girls. So.
Well, I mean, so how attractive is the stock market at this point? I mean, yeah, all-time highs, we're just seeing people flood in, but also with this obvious, apparent desperation move, are there any chances that we're actually entering into an incredibly bear market here when you're seeing this incentive come up?
When you talk about if the stock market is overvalued, you got to talk about what's it overvalued compared to. So if it's priced in dollars, well then if they keep printing more and more money, like they did in like Venezuela, most third world countries, then you can see the stock market actually keep rising. So I mean, you could see the stock market at 100,000. I mean, I think by the time that I'm 60, I expect the Dow to probably be well over 1 million. And if you take simple compounding, I mean, I think when I was born, it was under 1,000. It was probably about 600, 700, and now it's approaching 30,000. And so if you just take that same 9% compounded growth rate, it's going to be $500,000, a million by the time I retire without some sort of cataclysmic. And so when you are taking a look at, is the stock market overvalued? Well, if China, just last Monday printed, the entire market cap of Bitcoin in one day, and it's sort of like if you're playing a game of Monopoly, and all of a sudden, you start off with $1,000, and the banker goes and gives everybody an extra $4,000. Well, now I can go offer you maybe 3 times as much money for Park Place, and then you're like, oh, well, now Park Place costs 3 times as much. Well, then if the bankers come in and throw another $3,000 and give them all out, like maybe Andrew Yang's the banker or something. Now that he's not going to be the president, not that I ever thought.
It's never going to.
Yeah, let's be honest, he never is. Oh, and I guess now Hillary and Bloomberg are back into the mix, and I saw Hillary was going to get back in, but I did not think it would be in that fashion. So watch out, Mike Bloomberg. I think somebody better have a life insurance policy on him if that ends up becoming the ticket.
Yeah, they can ban soda and kill people altogether. It's going to be a fun time had by all.
If you think about it, then you had Hillary referring to black people as super predators, and then you also had Mike Bloomberg was the one who was doing all the stop and frisk, which mainly targeted minorities. He also said that legalizing marijuana was the dumbest thing this country ever did.
Well, I would suggest everyone check out a video I did a while back ago on Michael Bloomberg and how he's a tyrant. But anyway, as we finish this up, Tim, what are you doing with your clients as far as, for safe haven purposes when we're entering into very, very uncertain times?
Yeah, so right now we are at Anarchapulco, and one question that I've gotten from a lot of people, even a lot of people who are watching this channel, is they didn't realize that I am a financial advisor, that I can manage actual traditional assets, so I can manage stocks and, the bonds. I think I've got very few bonds in the portfolio, if any. I also can help people out with cryptocurrencies, self-directed IRAs. They can put precious metals inside their IRAs, all sorts of different things. But everyone's going to have their own comfort levels. So if you are out there watching and you think crypto is a scam, you don't have to have crypto in your portfolio. If you are out there think the stock market is a scam and you are heavily invested in cryptocurrencies, there's planning and different trust solutions. Basically, gave a master class here 2 days ago on the top 10 things you need to know before you sell your crypto, because America can be a tax haven if you know what you're doing. But the other question I'm getting here is, hey, I'm 55 years old and I have this, what should I do? I'm like, well, it's a bigger question than that, because, when do you want to retire? What's your minimum standard of retirement? What's your ideal standard of retirement? And then we want to plan for what the worst case scenario is to at least make sure you're getting by, but then we ultimately want to hope for the best case. And so we're then reverse engineering things. And even when it comes to the traditional stock market, I'm invested in a very untraditional way. So our clients have a max potential downside draw, and some of you might be skeptical of that, but what we're doing is we're using different types of put options. And if you don't know what it is, I would highly recommend not going out and doing that yourself, because it's a good way to lose your money if you don't know what you're doing. So we know exactly how much our clients can possibly lose, and last year we were up probably close to 25-26%, we knew that we could only lose 3 or 4. This year we've re-upped those put options all the way through the election, so that way if Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas, which I don't think she's getting in there, or Bloomberg or any of these other clowns get in there and the stock market ends up going down, our clients are going to be little affected by that, and hopefully some of the other positions we have, such as gold, silver, crypto, we hope that those would then rise in that type of environment. But ultimately, you're trying to hedge against a lot of different bets. No one knows exactly what's going to be out there, but this is what I spent my entire life focusing on, and I feel very confident in knowing that my strategy is going to beat out most other people's, just because a lot of people are going to be scared. They're going to put money in cash. Right. So,
well, at the end of the day, we have to remember that what we're seeing today is a scam. It's a market that is completely manipulated. Watch out for the plunge protection team. They can only prop it up for so long, but watch out the next time we see a major crash, and they're going to come in and try and prop up the stock market as they do. And I just believe that individuals that are watching this that are concerned, first of all, they can check the link below, a bit.ly link to become a client of Tim's if they wish. That's below the video in the description in the comments, but also just be prepared, guys. If you don't believe any of this is going to happen anytime soon, fine, that's good. Think whatever you want, but at least be prepared, guys. It's a basic function of humanity to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best, and I think that we all need to be getting on that boat and doing whatever we can to protect our wealth and protect ourselves and be responsible, be self-sustainable, and stop being a slave to this system.
One more other comment I want to make is a lot of people think I'm just a one-man band. So the company I actually work for is called Innovative Advisory Group, and I'm just my personal moniker is Liberty Advisor. But one of the guys who's with us is Kirk Chisholm, who's ranked 7th most influential advisor in America, just absolute expert in alternative investments. And so I never even talk about the fact that one of the guys I talk with every single day is one of the top 10 most influential advisors in America. And I just wanted to point it out because there was one question I got a ton of Acapulco is, oh, you can help me out with this, and yes we can. And a lot of people think, oh, I can't do traditional stuff. Well, most of the client assets I have is traditional. Just want to put that out because we got the shameless plug behind us. And great time here at Acapulco, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a good time in Acapulco, Mexico. I really appreciate you going into all this with us, Tim. We're going to be back at you guys with much more on this subject matter. I hope that you guys check the links below, press like on this video, and I'm sick of coming up with things, so I'm just going to say the same thing that I always say. Right end the Fed below the video. It helps us know that you watched the end, and also helps with the algorithm, which we are not, the algorithm's not a fan of us anymore, so just whatever you guys can do to help out, we appreciate it. Check us out on float.app as well, flote.app, and we'll be back at you guys with much more. Lots of interviews, lots of reports, lots of stuff going on here in Acapulco, Mexico, and of course, check the link below for the Liberty Advisor. Anyway, until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson and Tim Picciott signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here at Wham? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We cannot do it without you guys. Every donation is extremely, extremely appreciated as we're getting incredibly shadow banned. We've lost 80% of our audience since January of 2019 and counting. They are ripping us apart here on YouTube, and the only thing we could do in the meantime as we prepare for the next big step is to ask for help from the viewers that support our free information that we try to post on a daily basis. You can also find us on Subscribestar, where just $1 a month, that's all it takes, $1 a month is all it takes to truly make a huge difference. If everyone gave $1 a month, it would change everything for independent media, and we could win this information war, and we can defeat the mainstream medias eventually. And of course, on Subscribestar, we post subscriber-only content that you'll only see on Subscribestar. So make sure to pledge there, become a patron. That makes a huge difference, guys. And also, don't forget to check out our Bitcoin address below in the comments and description, as well as on the screen for you to scan, if you please. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on the alternatives. We will likely be deleted by YouTube in the next 2 years. It's already happening on a vast scale, so make sure to find us on float.app, that's flote.app, at Josh Sigurdson, as well as at Wham, W-A-M. Float.app is replacing every social media, and I mean, it's just incredible the opportunities it provides for not just creators, but for the average person who wants to get away from these nannies telling them what they can or cannot see. They plan to replace Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon. You could subscribe to us on Float and pledge with cryptocurrency. It's really innovative. We are also on BitChute at World Alternative Media, as well as so many others, Minds, PocketNet. You can find us at World Alternative Media on Instagram. There's many options. So make sure to support in any way you can, even if it's just sharing our videos, pressing like, pressing to be notified. Anything helps, folks. You are the change you wish to see. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.